In an isolated Arctic region some 200 miles east of Anchorage, Alaska, there stands a phased array transmitter capable of beaming more than 3 billion watts of energy into the ionosphere. It is referred to as the High Frequency Auroral Research Program, or HAARP for short. Unfortunately, no one seems to know precisely what it does, or more importantly, what it can do. Could it be that this marvel of technology is capable of changing and controlling weather patterns worldwide? Is HAARP, in fact, a part of some secret Star Wars defense system? Or is it, as one of its originators suggests, just one big toy? What, in fact, has it done to get so much attention? Is it possible that this huge electronic device, as some suggest, is actually a mechanism for conducting mind control experiments over whole populations? HAARP is still under construction. Could it be that military planners see the finished product as the ultimate death ray? Is it just a coincidence that the hole in the ozone layer is expanding in the very region of the atmosphere irradiated by HAARP? Some critics have suggested that the state of Alaska is host to the world's largest and most sophisticated technological doomsday device. What is really going on in the frozen landscape at the edge of the Arctic? We'll try to uncover the mystery of HAARP. Near the isolated Arctic village of Gakona, Alaska, stands an impressive array of high-power radio antennas. Officially, it is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. But to just about anyone who knows of its existence, it is simply HAARP. So far, the U.S. government, some private industry, and various academics have spent over $30 million on what is listed as an experiment. But an experiment in what? What exactly is HAARP? In 1980, a plasma physicist by the name of Bernard Eastlund applied for a patent on a device he described as being a method and apparatus for altering a region in the Earth's atmosphere, ionosphere, and/or magnetosphere. For most people, altering a region in the Earth's atmosphere or ionosphere is just scientific gobbledygook. A typical response is, who cares? But when you think about it, the Earth's ionosphere is precisely where the Earth's weather is formed, and the weather affects everybody on the planet. Dr. Eastlund's patent became the blueprint for what is now called HAARP, a method and device that some believe is now capable of altering life on this planet as we know it. But who or what is behind this project?
ARCO originally approached me in 1984 to find a use for the natural gas on the North Slope of Alaska, which they could not sell. To give you a feel for how much gas they asked me to find an application for, it was enough gas to produce all the electricity in the United States for a full year. I originated some ideas for military applications and beneficial civilian applications in which that gas would be converted into electricity and then used to power some gigantic antennas.
But power gigantic antennas to do what? What military applications were anticipated? And what are the beneficial civilian applications? Perhaps the question we should be asking is not, what can it do? But what, if anything, has HAARP actually done already?
What's most scary and exciting about HAARP is the potential of its application. For example, ELF waves generated by the array could be used for a variety of military applications, including finding underground bases, tunnels, even caves. The government is interested in HAARP technology because it's a new frontier, a new way to solve an old problem. Ronald Reagan asked the scientists of America to find a way to render ICBMs, nuclear weapons, obsolete. HAARP was one of many programs that were developed that might be able to do this. The U.S. is continuing to be interested in the project because this technology opens an incredible suite of potential weapons systems. These include talking with deeply submerged submarines, locating underground bases, tunnels, launch and manufacturing facilities for weapons of mass destruction. Strange, amazing things like being able to set off volcanoes or create earthquakes, being able to create relativistic particles at the top of the atmosphere that could destroy enemy spy satellites, that could take out space-based weapons platforms. While there is no official admission of using this technology, mainstream media has reported that HAARP was used to find terrorists in Afghanistan. It's hard to imagine the U.S. passing up such an opportunity.
What does HAARP do? HAARP is a large antenna where we beam radio frequency energy up into the upper atmosphere, and we create on a small scale what the sun normally does. And the reason we're trying to do this is because when you have disturbances in the ionosphere, we can't communicate with our satellites.
Basically then, HAARP is just a great big radio antenna with enough power to heat up the ionosphere and maintain radio communication with satellites, or find holes in the Earth. That sounds harmless enough, but critics suggest there are other, more sinister applications.
Applications discussed in the patents included destroying missiles. Communications control and disruption were included. There were some other ideas both to possibly modify weather and finally to lift a portion of the upper atmosphere further out into space where hopefully it would be able to deflect missile trajectories.
Dr. Eastland, we should point out, is no longer with the program, but his patent did in fact anticipate a Star Wars kind of defense mechanism which also had the capability of actually changing the weather, disrupting communications, and literally moving the upper atmosphere closer to the sun. But if the technology can do all of that, is it also likely to affect people, animals, even the Earth itself? Carl Sagan once wrote, "We've arranged a global civilization upon which most crucial elements profoundly depend on science and technology. We've also arranged things so that almost no one understands science or technology. Sooner or later, this combustible mixture of ignorance and power will blow up in our faces." Have we finally reached that point? Can anyone predict what altering or moving the upper atmosphere will do?
The first serious study of this type of technology possibly dates back to Nikola Tesla. His genius gave us many inventions, most importantly, alternating current, or AC, which is the foundation of our electrical civilization today. As far back as 1934, the New York Times read an article on what they described as Tesla's death ray. Tesla had been working on these kinds of inventions most of his life. In March of 1920, a publication called Electrical Experimenter published illustrations of Tesla's prototype wireless power transmitter, which even then was being described as a death ray searchlight device. Dr. Eastland even referenced Tesla in his initial patent, and in a BBC A&E documentary said, "I think Tesla would be very proud." In my view, HAARP, based in part on Tesla technology, has the potential to be the ultimate doomsday device.
On the other hand, those who are directly involved with the project seem to think there's nothing at all to worry about.
HAARP has no effect on the Earth.
Is HAARP safe? Yes, HAARP is safe.
Therein lies the controversy. Is it a doomsday device, or basically just an expensive toy? This argument has been going on for years. The mystery, however, remains unexplained. Is it possible that this innocent-looking array of antennas can generate enough power to disrupt the Earth's natural processes? Just exactly what are we playing with here?
The ionosphere of the Earth has got enormous amount of energy. There are 8,000 thunderstorms going on all over the Earth at any given moment. There are millions of amperes of electricity pouring to the Earth from lightning strikes. And HAARP could create a trigger effect. It's the same as a bullet, for example. If you have the primer on the back of a bullet and that